Jeremy and the Sleagur by Will Reed. Chapter 11. Sleagur Celebrations. The Sleagur stole another peek through Mrs. Warbling's window and sniggered to itself. The teacher looked laughably pathetic, her face all wrinkled and worried like a frowny pink prune. Stupid woman. Over what? Some foolish little boy? There were millions of little boys. So what if one runs away? It was a real-life Sleagur, one of a kind, practically an endangered species. The creature leaned an elbow on the school roof and congratulated itself again. "I'm a genius!" It waggled its flappy feet, splattering gunge over several concrete slabs. The creature ticked off its victories. "First, I make him feel like he doesn't fit in." It raised one blobby finger. "Then show him how he can fit in, by giving up his personality and dreams. Easy!" Its grin fixed in place. "Almost easy. That blasted child, Helena, nearly ruined everything." She'd repeatedly ruined its plans. Being Jeremy's friend when it had worked so hard to make him lonely. Encouraging him to think that being Cinderella was respectable. She'd even quickly forgiven him for dumping her. That was particularly annoying. "Loyalty? Pah!" The Sleagur spat oozing globules onto the roof tiles. "Kindness? Ugh!" Despite that girl, it had grown strong. So powerful, in fact, that it was nearly real. It held up a sticky hand and examined it. It no longer fell off unexpectedly or dropped things. It was only a matter of time before Jeremy gave up all hope, and then it would be truly alive. No more taking hours to recover after just holding a pen or throwing paper. The boy would be an empty shell, of course, never wanting to try anything new, always worried that others might think him different. He would give his life to the Sleagur. A bit like Dad, the Sleagur mused. When it had looked into Dad's soul, the red gleam of another Sleagur had stared back out. Nice to know there were others around, even if they did look like people. Yuck! Not like it, though. It had escaped its revolting human prison. It was special. The Sleagur hastily leaned in to listen as Mrs. Warbling's telephone rang again. She answered it on the first ring. "Hello? Yes, speaking. Is that Constable Grayson?" There was a pause, and Mrs. Warbling slumped back into her chair. "Oh, thank goodness!" She opened her bottom drawer and pulled out a bar of chocolate, biting into it heavily. "Thank you. Oh, thank you so much for telling me," she mumbled around a mouthful of gungy chocolate. She swiveled in her spinning chair, her back to the window where the Sleagur's eye glowered in, squashed up against the glass. If she'd turned at that moment, she would have crawled up inside the tiny drawer with the chocolate and never come out. The great smearing eye covered half of the window in a mass of dead grey, covered by a pulsing, lightning pattern of green veins and a bottomless black pupil which could swallow worlds. Deep inside the darkness, the red glow had become a desperate furnace with only one purpose: to live. "So, Jeremy had been found," it thought. "Interesting, but not a disaster." A few minutes later, Mrs. Warbling's telephone rang again. The Sleagur peeled its eye away, but listened to the call, half distracted in thought. "Oh, yes, hello. Oh, Mrs. Deerfield, I'm so glad Jeremy's home. Thank goodness." "Yes? Well, I'm Not sure it's possible. I've told her. No, you're right. If Jeremy is so determined to do the show, then we must. I'll arrange things. Goodbye. Mrs. Warbling slid the remaining chocolate away and sighed. It had been a very trying day. Not yet over, though. Calls to make, arrangements to be done. She thought about maybe this year going on a very long holiday, somewhere far away from children and responsibilities. The Sleagur growled a deep and terrible rumble. So, the boy's still doing the play. What do I have to do to crush his spirit? That gave it an idea. Maybe it would be easier to actually crush Jeremy like a bug. It was big and powerful enough now. Even if it did miss out on the last few drops of stolen power. However, if the boy was allowed to regain his heart and do the play, he could suck back all of his life and destroy the Sleagur. That couldn't happen. It was a race against time, and the monster needed to win, even if it meant killing the boy.